walls of a Four Seasons loft. In Austin, I stalled, paused. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. Dreams.
Yes, we do. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. We're going to be talking about soccer. We're going to talk about some NFL football news. We're going to talk a little bit about the NBA. And, of course, we're definitely going to talk about March Madness. So, but anyway, let's talk about, let's start off with a little soccer news. Last night, the men, we played Mexico to 0-0. I don't know if you guys watched it, but I watched it. And it was driving me crazy because, I mean, we should have won that game. I mean, we missed a couple of open goals. One really, really, really bad miss. I don't know. It was wide. The net's wide open. I don't know how we missed it. But the Mexico keeper did have a couple of great saves. And so anyway, I mean, we should have won that. But when it comes down to it, we play Panama this Sunday night at 6 p.m. So I want everybody to watch that and be supportive of the team. And then also the problem is at that time, we'll have the Final Four going on. So the Elite Eight. So it's going to be a little tough to watch both. But if you can, tape it, whatever, watch it later, tape delay, because, I think this is important because when you look at us right now, we're tied basically with Mexico in games played 7-6. We have, it's just too close to call right now. When you look at everything that goes on, we have 22 points. Mexico has 22 points. Canada's leading the way with 25. But, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, we should have beat Mexico last night, and I just don't know how we messed that up. But anyway, we do play tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. So I hope everybody go out. And, of course, I do have on my USA soccer jersey again for the second time in a row. Shout out to my boy Jose Fierro for hooking me up with the soccer shirt. He's a huge soccer fan. Those of you that know him know that. So we're also trying to not only do the regular sports, but we're going to branch out. Part of the Unpopular and what we want to do is we want to branch out, and we're going to do some volleyball news. We're going to talk about volleyball. We're going to talk about soccer. We're going to talk about some women's soccer. We're going to talk a little bit about women's softball. So we're going to expand off into other sports other than just basketball, football, and baseball. So, which is what, really, I mean, let's face it, I know a lot of people, that's the only thing they care about. But, there are other sports out there. So I do want to highlight the other sports and not just do what the mainstream sports media does and just concentrate on it. There are other people who are interested in hearing about their sports. So we want to do cross all the sports. We just don't want as many as we can without just doing one. So, but that being said, once again, you got to watch and support our team against Panama this weekend because it's going to be very important that we do something with them, that we beat them, and I'm looking forward for us doing that. Okay, now let's get into a little bit of NBA. The Grizzlies last night just murdered the Pacers. I did not see that one coming. It was a 13-point deal there, and I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was a lot of points. But, I mean, the Grizzlies they just beat the brakes off of them. And then when you look at the Bulls, they've lost their second straight game. They've lost 3 out of their last 10. So they've fallen all the way to 5th place, and you can see they're on a nosedive right now. They need to get that together and figure out what they need to do with that. The Suns, on the other hand, are 9-1 in their last 10 games. They beat the crap out of the Nuggets last night, and they're on a roll even without Chris Paul. But I think in order to win the chip, they're going to have Chris Paul. They're doing great against these teams. They need Chris Paul, somebody who understands, who can run the floor, who gets them where they need the ball, puts everybody in position, gets everybody the ball, but at the same time, if he needs to close the door, he can. So I think that's going to be very important. And then when you look at the East right now, the Bucks and the Celtics both are 9-1. I mean, I mean, the Bucks are coming. The Bucks are coming. They're coming from the Heat. I mean, they're coming from it right now. I'm just telling you that. And so are the Celtics. 76ers are in the mix right there. But when you look at those top teams between the Heat, the Bucks, the Celtics, and the 76ers, and then now that Kyrie is able to come back for the Nets, being able to play in their last 6 of their last home games, I think that's going to bode well for the Nets. But I don't know if if his being missing so many games, I don't know how the chemistry thing is going to be with them in order for them to shut the door and be able to close. But they're going to be a scary first round matchup against anybody. And if things fall the way they are right now, they'll probably be going against either the Heat, which I think they can beat the Heat pretty easily, or they'll be going against the Bucks. And I don't know. I don't know if they can beat the Bucks. Even though, if like we said, if Kevin Durant was wearing a 17 instead of 17 and a half, the Bucks would not have been champions, and Kevin Durant would have sent them home. And that was without Kyrie last year and James Harden on one leg. So KD is ridiculous. And then for them, these people to even say that that big kid from Gonzaga is the next Kevin Durant or close to Kevin Durant, and what body size? I mean, body. That's it. They're both skinny. Other than that, yeah, this kid has some ability, but everybody, this is what I hate about, you got a bunch of people with microphones. They just say a bunch of crap. Okay? You just said a bunch of crap. This kid ain't even close to Kevin Durant. He ain't even in the stratosphere. It's insulting to Kevin Durant to even say that this Chet kid is in the same breath, sentence, whatever you want to say is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant may not be in a class by himself, but it doesn't take long to call the roll. And this kid ain't even in the class. That's for sure. Now, he may be in the same school building. He ain't even on the same floor yet because he ain't even got into the league. Now, Drew Henthorn, my boy, I was hoping to get Drew on today, but I got to go early because I got to go over to Santa Fe Family Life Center and get some stuff done. We're having our tournament this weekend, so I've got to get to the gym and get everything ready for that game tonight. But so I'm sorry I missed Drew, but he's Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. He did send me his picks, and I will go over those, and then plus I'm going to bust him up a little bit about yesterday and our picks and who we thought were going to win in those games last night. But that being said, he likes this Chet kid, and I'm like, bro, and I told him yesterday, who he going to guard? I mean, you got a lottery pick and the kid from Memphis. He just beat him up, made him look like a second-tier player, which is what he is. Like I tell everybody, Gonzaga, they have a great young college player. In this Gonzaga system, they're fantastic. They play great in that system. But in the league, you got 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", athletic, fast, big, strong, physical. They're going to push that kid around. He's like our kid Poku. Yeah, he does great against average people, but against elite talent, he can't play. Poku has great ball handling skills. He can't play on that level. He ain't there. This kid ain't there. You can like him all you want to. You can look at the potential all you want to. In this league, you got to be physical. You got to be athletic. That's what dominates in this league. When you look at Phoenix and you look at the Bulls, the Heat, and you look at Golden State, and you look at the 76ers, and you look at all the top-tier teams, do you see them with a skinny kid who's playing? Everybody's trying to find the next Porzingis. Porzingis has a nice game, but that worked early. That is over with now. He couldn't last with Luka. Luka said, get this guy out of here. And he got Dinwiddie, and now you see the Mavericks on a run. You gotta have some weight on. You can't be skinny. You gotta be physical out in this league. You have to be athletic and you have to be physical, or you ain't gonna work. And you look at all these teams that are out here are struggling, they all have the same type of roster. You look at the teams who are winning, they all have the same type of roster. If you want to win in the NBA, that kid ain't it. The other kid, Timmy, he's gonna be just like the kid that they liked last year from Gonzaga that plays for the Wizards. Gets killed. Can't get on the floor. And when he does, he gets murdered. Anyway, I'm going to get off that soapbox with that. But anyway, in the NBA, I'm liking what's going on with that. The Warriors and the Hawks tonight. Ooh, Steph against Trey. Well, Steph probably won't be playing because I think his ankle. We'll see how that works out. But, Trey's going to go against them. That's going to be good. And then the Mavs and the T-Wolves. I'm going to be watching that. I might have to slip that. I might have to be in a. I might have to go somewhere where I can watch the game. Probably Cats, where I can watch a couple of games all at one time and be able to see what's going on. I got to be able to watch that. I mean, that's gonna be some good basketball right there. Because Luca is just he's just a monster. And when he loses that baby fat that he's got, he's really, really, really going to be a beast. I mean, an absolute beast. So, but then speaking of NCAA, let's get into the NCAA Sweet 16. And when you look at it, Gonzaga and Arkansas were last night, Tech and Duke. Even though I'm a Big 12 guy, I wanted us to win, but I had both of those guys winning. I had Arkansas against Gonzaga, and a lot of people had Gonzaga. I laughed. I was like, "That's not gonna happen." I knew they were gonna beat. They should have got beat by Memphis. They should have got beat in the very first game. Should have got again beat by Memphis, and then of course Arkansas came and took care of business with them. I'm like, you out there, you have the most wins, whatever. And I saw the thing that Villanova and Gonzaga have the most wins since 2015 or 2016, whatever, in the NCAA. Yeah, because you give them good seeds, and now the college basketball is becoming more and more even, more and more even. And Tech last night, they needed a couple breaks. They would have went their way, but they did not get them. And Duke got lucky, not missing a field goal in the last 7 minutes. They went 8 for 8 in the last 7 minutes of that ball game last night. And that says a lot going against Texas Tech's defense, but I also thought Coach K did a great job of going into that zone last night and finishing them off. I thought that was great. And then in the other games last night, Arizona against Houston. Sorry, my boy Jared, but like I told you the other night when I was busting you up in darts, Houston was going to beat Arizona. I'm going to take Kelvin Sampson every time. The guy knows what he's doing. He's been here before. He's got some athletic kids. What are they, 34-5 or something ridiculous this year? So I had picked Houston over Arizona, knew they were going to be gone. So now that's 3 number 1 seeds gone. First it was Kentucky, then it was Gonzaga, now it's Arizona, and then of course Kansas plays tonight, which is the last number 1 seed that is left. So we'll see how that works out. But like I said, Houston, man, they've got some athletes, and even though they made a couple bonehead plays at the end of the game last night, I thought they did really well defensively. Excuse me, that was Arkansas made a couple bonehead plays, their guys. But Houston played strong. They were physical. They got up and down the floor. They were in your face. They knocked down shots. Their best player took over the game, so they did what they needed to do to get the W over Arizona. Now, Michigan and Villanova. My boy Drew and I had talked about that. He liked Michigan, but like he said, we both agreed. We thought that Michigan's run had run its course ever since that fight that Juwan Howard had. He got suspended when he came back. We knew that was going to galvanize their team, and they were going to come back, and they were really going to step up. At least that's what I thought was going to happen, and that's pretty much what happened. But that Cinderella stuff ran out of gas against Nova last night, and Nova just handled their business. So when I look at the matchups for tonight, North Carolina against UCLA, Purdue and St. Pete, I just don't see St. Pete keeping up. And of course, my boy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com does have some numbers on that, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But the the Duke Arkansas game is going to be ridiculous. We'll talk about that in the Elite Eight. In fact, I will, and then let me see. Let me throw that up right now. In the Elite Eight, in the West region, you're going to have Arkansas versus Duke, which is going to be ridiculous. I just can't wait. And then Houston versus Villanova. That's going to be a beast right there. I can't wait to see that. But we'll go over that on Monday with Drew once we figure out who is in the bottom half of that. Actually, it will be the Final Four is what we'll be doing over. But Houston, Villanova right now, I've got Duke beating Arkansas, and then I've got Nova over Houston. In the South and in the West, I've got Duke over Arkansas. But as far as tonight's games are concerned, North Carolina and UCLA, I'm gonna take UCLA. That's who I was riding with. I think Purdue will beat St. Pete. I think St. Pete just don't have an answer for the big boy inside. I think they're just gonna pound them in and pound them in, and then when they jump in, they're gonna knock down shots from outside and have wide open looks. And you can't give kids wide open look. And the only chance that St. Pete's have is that they're hot and they're attacking Purdue's sometime defense. Sometimes they want to play defense, sometimes they don't. So if they can attack that, I think that St. Pete does have a chance, but it's slim to none. I think Purdue will handle their business and move on to play UCLA on Sunday night. So that's going to be a great game. But then on the other side, man, you got 4 games here. Kansas against Providence. That's going to be a tough game. I do like the Jayhawks right there. I think they're -7. Like I said, I'll go over that here in a little bit. Iowa State versus Miami. Man, I, like Drew and I talked about yesterday when we went over this whole Sweet 16 matchup thing. Uh, I don't know which Iowa State team is going to show up. I don't know if it's the one that scores 36 points against Oklahoma State or it's the ones that you've seen in the tournament thus far. I don't know which Iowa State team we're going to see. I really, truly don't. But Miami, they're athletic. They get up and down the floor. They're long. So, but if Iowa State, if I don't really, if I have to take one, I would take Iowa State in this, even though I think Miami will win the game. I would like to see a Big 12 matchup in the Elite Eight, Kansas versus Iowa State. But I think in all likelihood, we're probably going to see a KU versus Miami. But I do hope that that Iowa State does show up because I would like to see an all Big 12 Elite Eight final. And of course, these two know each other really, really well. And so that would be great. On the other side of that, Kansas first has to get by Providence, which I think they will, because Kansas has a beast inside. They're physical. They play good, tough defense, just like the other Big 12 teams do. The difference between Tech and Iowa State and Kansas can put the ball on this floor and they can score with the best of them. And I think Tech goes through lulls where they don't really score and they can't score. So I think that's going to hurt them. But I think Iowa State on the other side is just going to be magnificent with that. So this is going to be some great games for tonight. But like I said, when you look at the elite side, I think Duke is going to beat Arkansas, and I think Villanova will get Houston, given that other side. And then on the Sweet 16, I think the KU will be in there along with Nova. So my final four would be Duke, UCLA, Kansas, and Nova. And Kansas and Nova going each other. But anyway, we'll go over that Monday with my boy Drew, and we'll talk about that. And then when we talk about Maya and her Sweet 16 and what happened with her, I just murdered her on the Sweet 16. So let's go back for Women Only Wednesday. Maya had chosen Gonzaga. They lost. We agreed on Duke. We both took UCLA. We both took Purdue. Maya took Arizona. I took Houston. We both took Nova. And I think we both took Miami in the end, and we both took Kansas. So I'm busting up on Maya Carter Long. I can't wait to see her to talk trash on her. So, but anyway, I just wanted to wrap that up and talk about that. And then my last thing I'm going to talk about today in breaking news, if you want to call it that, with the shakeup, first of all, of the two best receivers, Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. Devontae, of course, going to Raiders to play with his college quarterback, Derek Carr, and then, of course, Tyreek Hill after he got that massive contract. Tyreek, of course, turned around, and he wanted $30 million, and so the Chiefs found a landing spot for him to do that. And, it's Tyreek just wanted his money, but he's only made $60 million. And remember, he was a fifth-round draft pick, so he wasn't really making a whole lot of money. Did make a lot of money coming out of college because of the background and the baggage that he had coming out. The Chiefs were the only ones to take a chance on him. The Chiefs took care of him. They did draft McCole Hardman when Tyreek had some more issues with the same lady that he no longer has any contact with. He got out of trouble with that. So the Chiefs took care of him again, gave him an extension, and now he says, boom, I'm out of here. Because the Chiefs couldn't afford to pay him $30 million. I mean, if you're trying to win championships in the long haul, you can't give. Even though Tyreek is a unique guy, even though to me he's the best wide receiver in pro football. But once again, unlike Derek Carr, unlike Devontae, he's got a guy who can throw the ball to him. You're going to Tua. Tua doesn't have a strong arm, so you're going to be catching everything on the middle. You're not going to be making those easy steps. But on the flip side of that, what are you getting? You're getting what, 50 million guaranteed, and then the rest as soon as when the season starts next year, you're getting the other. So you're getting $72.2 million guaranteed, 120 million. Do you really care? And you're in Florida with no state tax. I feel you, Tyreek, but I want to win games, but at the same time, you do have to take care of your family. So I will say that. So with all that being said, let's talk about DK Metcalf, the next wide receiver that's looking to go somewhere else. And I've looked at some of his, possibility places for him to go. The Chiefs, he was a report about the Chiefs, and he said, yeah, I heard it gets cold at night, so yeah, scratch them off. Well, bro, okay, there's the Browns with Deshaun Watson. Guess what the climate is? Cold. There's the Bears with Justin Fields. Guess what? The climate is cold. There's the Patriots and Mac Jones. Guess what? The climate is cold. But they're a long, long, long shot. Bill Belichick is not going to pay you what you want to do. He's not for a wide receiver. He for sure is not going to do that. Then you got the Packers who gave up Devontae. They need a wide receiver, but once again, the climate, is closed, and you don't want to go to the Chiefs because it gets cold at night. So that's the end of that. So what does that leave you, bro? With the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trevor does need a wide receiver. The Jaguars do need a number one wide receiver. Trevor Lawrence can get you the football. That is a warm climate. But for the rest of them, bro, you're limited on what you can actually do. And if you really want to get traded and you want to make the money that you want to make, because he is in the last year of his contract, so it's going to be interesting to see what he really wants to do with that, which to me, it pretty much limits you on where you can go. In NFL, most cities are cold unless there's a dome. So, in none of these cities that you looked at, there's no dome anywhere. And so the Jaguars, if you're looking to go somewhere where it's warm, DK, that's your option. But the question is, can they give the Seahawks more draft picks? Can they give them what they need to rebuild? Because clearly the Seahawks are in rebuilding mode. What's going to happen with Tyler Lockett? Of course, he's under contract until 2025. So what does that do? But now with the wide receiver market blowing up and guys getting paid 22, what did oh my guy from the Chargers, he just got paid, so he's making 20-something million a year. So but Tyreek, DK, you're not going to get Devontae and Tyreek money because you're not them. But are you in the $24 to $26 million range? Yes, sir, you surely are. But you're not in the $30 million range. But does that mean you're going to get 120 something, 850, 60, 70 guaranteed? Yes, sir. That's what that means. But you're not in the market. Mike Williams, that's what I was thinking about, the receiver from the Chargers. So we'll see what happens with him with that and see how that plays out. So, but anyway, I wanted to go over this today for tonight's games. Remember, it's going to be fantastic basketball. This is March Madness, and you got to go out and support your teams. Go out to whatever local bar you want to go to, watch the games, get excited about it. I know I'm pumped up, because I get pumped up about sports anyway, because I am the sports man, and I love watching sports. So that's just me. So everybody's got to do what they got to do. But anyway, hey, everybody be safe out there. And I really want to go play golf this morning is what I really, really, really want to do because it's beautiful and it's getting nice. And it is golf season coming up, which I'm excited about. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching my show and supporting the Unpopular Hour. Also, my other show, Unpopular Hour, Women Only Wednesday, where we talk about women's issues and women can ask questions and not feel dumb about it. And then also, After the Storm, my post-game analysis. Thunder, after every Thunder game, we'll do that. So appreciate you guys for watching that. Remember, go to YouTube, subscribe, and like the shows. And that's the After the Storm, which is After the Storm - OKC Thunder. It will pop up. Or the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark. It will pop up. So anyway, I hope you guys go there. Like I said, be safe today. And everybody stay out of trouble. And peace. Be safe.